What's up, everyone? How you guys doing? And in today's video, we're talking about the drip marketing for 3.2 of Honkai Star Rail, and of course the 3.1 live stream that came out a few hours ago. So yeah, it's looking to be a pretty big patch for the story. And so yeah, let's just get into it. So all right, so before we talk about the 3.1 live stream, let's talk about the 3.2 drip marketing that came out earlier in the week. So for 3.1, we know that we have Mydei and Tribbie. And 3.2, we have announced that Castorice, who makes a very big appearance in the 3.0 story so far, she's going to be part of it. And also, this happens to tie in with the anniversary of Honkai Star Rail. So she will be the anniversary unit. She's Quantum Remembrance, part of the new path. And we've seen shots of this dragon. And before we tie it, I think she's going to be a main DPS, because if you actually look at the in-game set, there's one called the Poet of Morning Collapse, which obviously is quantum related for the 2-piece and 4-piece. You know, is damage increase because of your crit rate, depending on your speed. So it's going to be, that's probably going to be the kind of character that Castorice is. The slow speed shouldn't be a problem, because as a remembrance character, she will probably be very good with Sunday anyway. So Sunday brings her up because of his action forward. So it's going to be really, really nice to see Castorice. And, you know, anniversary unit, she might be broken as well. Obviously, not much is going to be said about it. I do think that for planar sets, while the new set that was announced in this patch will probably be her best in slot, I do think that for players, you can also get away with the what's the thing called, the Izumo set, if you're playing her with Remembrance MC. Castorice will be a very popular character, obviously, and definitely a lot of people would definitely be pulling for her. And alongside Castorice, we have Anaxa, who is a Wind Erudition unit. People, I think, online will say that he's very similar to Su from Honkai Impact Third, which a lot of the amphoreus story is based on the 13 not call, I was about to call it the flame chasers. Yeah, not the core flames. The core flames is Star Rail, but yeah, very based on that guy, Su. So yeah, the Wind Erudition unit, obviously people always say like, oh, you know, it's can be a DPS, but you could also follow the Jade angle, which is more of sub DPS. We all know that in 3.0, we've got the B herder, which means that Anaxa could be a very good sub DPS for her, because she relies on a lot of AoE to stack. And while characters like Herta, the baby Herta, and Saval are very good replacements, I think that Anaxa could be the character that brings the team and Herta herself to the next level. So yeah, I think maybe we're very excited for this patch. But before we do that, let's talk about the previous, what we learned about today from the live stream. We're not going to go too much into the kits of like Tribbie and Mydei, but we'll just talk about it a little bit. All right, so the main story quest of the main part of 3.1 is obviously the story quest. Light slips the gate, shadow greets the throne. It's going to be centered mostly around Mydei and Tribbie. And when I say Tribbie, I obviously mean Tribbie, Trien, and Trinan, who are the 3 entities that make up Tribbie. So yeah, going to be centered around them. You know, we've seen probably show part of the trailer in the background, right, of the story as well. You know, but yeah, definitely character. You know, going to be interesting to see how the story progresses from here on out. I think the devs did address like some of the main things about the story in 3.0, the presentation that will be improved. So hopefully, even though we know that the changes to the 3.0 story is going to happen in 3.2, hopefully you see some changes in the 3.1 story as well. And it looks like it's going to be a little bit more intense, obviously. You know, Mydei looking very menacing on his throne. That's going to be really cool. But yeah, you know, generally, I think that it's going to be, as hopefully this progresses the story forward, because I do think I like the premise of amphoreus. Obviously, I share the sentiment about the story, although I didn't feel it that much because I play it in 3 parts on stream, which you can check out at twitch.tv/Raw of Kiran, by the way. But anyways, enough self-promotion. Besides that, we also get 2 new areas, the Growth of Epiphany and also Genosopolis. All right, so definitely some people say this is like Sumeru, and I kind of get that as well. A big, very forested area with a big tree. This does have a face on it, which is actually pretty cool. Maybe I can show like a snippet of it through this video. But yeah, definitely you know, a big going to be a big part of the story, as mentioned in the live stream. You can see right over here the big face. So enough of the areas, right? We also have new enemies. The Flame Reaver, the Deepest Dark, look to be like the main boss. That's as how Nicodor was in the main story for 3.0. Yeah, just have a pretty interesting move set. And probably fast forward to like his ult, which is actually pretty insane. Let me just put this on full screen for all of y'all. And yeah, this is pretty sick. Not gonna lie. Yeah, definitely pretty cool. So, anyways, obviously the rest are just mobs, which you'll probably see on the overworld. And for the new characters, obviously the two new Tribbie and Mydei, and they do bring different things to the table. I think let's start off with Tribbie first. Quantum Harmony character, but also looks to be doing a lot of damage as well through follow-ups. This can also be really good for a character like Herta, which we talked a little bit earlier with Anaxa, because obviously, you know, having a character can do both will be pretty good for a character like Herta who wants the stacks to be able to deal out the most damage. At the same time, she creates a special dimension, which you can see that there are like stars around her, the stars around the battlefield. That special dimension increases damage dealt. Obviously, I don't know exactly because this is a leaks-free channel. But yeah, definitely gonna be doing a lot of damage as well, a lot of follow-up, dealing damage to the highest HP enemy. Be really nice to, and I think this is one of the characters that will complement what's the name? Complement her the best going forward. Mydei, I know a lot of people are going to compare him to Blade because he is kind of like Blade, HP scaling, but he is imaginary destruction. And he has a mechanic that keeps track of his HP loss by points, and every 100 points he gets an enhanced form, and also his kit also has a revive as well. As said earlier, we'll get more into the details once the characters are closer. We also get the Lightcones for them, but also a new Remembrance Lightcone as well from the Divergent universe or the Simulator universe, which I'll talk about more later. So it's 3 new 5-star Lightcones for players who want to go for it. And for the banners, first phase we have Tribbie and a Yingli rerun. Yingli is one of my favorite characters to play in the game, and hopefully she works well with Tribbie as well. But yeah, 4 stars are pretty mediocre. I think they're pretty okay, but in the grand scheme of things, like I don't think many people are playing Hook. Gwen sees some use, Link sees some use, especially with Yingli, so it's actually not the worst thing in the world. The second phase we actually have Mydei and also Ho-Ho. Ho-Ho, I think, is a very popular unit. I think her stocks are rising quite a bit, because especially for the energy regeneration, helps out characters who have very high energy requirements, like Aglaia, for example. I won't be surprised that moving forward we see more characters like Aglaia with the very insane energy requirements needed. Arlen, not really a good unit. Shrey, I do have a heart for Shrey. I do use her sometimes. And then Natasha, who is like the most basic of healers as well. Lightcones generally are pretty alright. I do like Trend, especially on Aventurine. Rendezvous, pretty good use sometimes. Postup's actually pretty good as well. It's not a really bad one. This one, I think it's pretty okay. I think Memories of the Past is pretty decent. Especially on like your break teams. Arlen's Lightcone is pretty okay. You know, it might be good for Mydei actually, now that I think about it, because obviously Mydei has a kit similar to Blade. That being said, I think there is a Lightcone from a previous event, I think the Rapper event, that also gives like HP scaling. Oh, it's good for like, it will be good for Mydei as well. I forgot what the Lightcone actually does, to be fair. Obviously, the normal 10 pools always come with every Honkai Star Rail patch, and the Divergent Universe Protean Hero, which is what I mentioned earlier. This is where you get the free Lightcone, the 5-star Remembrance Lightcone, and yeah, it's gonna be pretty. It's gonna be there's the main concept behind this Divergent Universe is that they implement a day-night system, because if you guys have played the amphoreus story, you would know that a lot of these mechanics, or a lot of the story in amphoreus revolves around the day-night cycle. Oh no, not really that it's more than an environment, right? But basically the day-night system gives different suits different teams. Yeah, I've not seen more in-depth about this, probably another video when it comes out. But you basically get boons that will help you buff your team, basically. There are also more things in this Divergent universe, especially they also have a way to like guide the player to make better choices on picking their blessings and whatnot. The Awu firm is basically like a pet simulator. Someone call it Super Auto Pets because I played that before. But it looks really cute. You know, I think the chimeras are pretty cute that you see in amphoreus. You do get a 4-star selector. No one knows what the 4-star selector characters are yet, but usually it's more recent characters. I won't be surprised if you see like a Gallagher or a Mydei there. So, you know, for players who want to fill up the gaps in the islands, it'd be pretty nice if you get the desired ones. Holy City Appraisals is basically Libban. You guys that play Genshin Impact, this is basically Libban, right? You give them stuff, you give you back stuff, right? And lastly, let's talk about the materials. So, if do not pre-farm for Mydei and what's her name, Tribbie yet, because they use the new materials that will go live with 3.1. The Dark Veil Moonlight for Tribbie, and I guess for Castorice as well because she's Quantum, and the Harbinger of Strife, which is for Mydei, obviously because Mydei from Kremnos and he, you know, the Strife world, right, the Strife area. We also get new what's this thing called? Planar ornaments. No idea what these do yet, but I will be surprised if they benefit like either the current new characters or the upcoming ones in the future, like Castorice and Anaxa. And lastly, okay, there's some optimizations. Basically, the first part is that you can skip. You don't need to craft from green to blue to purple materials. You can craft them immediately all the way up. I think the system that is implemented in Zenless Zone 0. Also, there's also a build guide. So if you play Genshin, this is very similar to what came with the 5.4 update. Basically, you put a character, you get the materials, whatever the game recommends. It's gonna be nice for players who want a guide on how to build their characters, and hopefully the game guides the players accordingly. And the Tears of Souls is basically a replacement for like Ascension materials and stuff like that you get from bosses. So obviously I'm not going to dive that much into the live stream now because I would really want to make more dedicated videos on it. But that is really that for the recap. Besides this, the devs did mention they did come at the end and talk about some of the changes that will make the story. But basically they're not really removing the puzzles and the enemies, but they're going to move them into more optional places. So instead of like that one segment in the castle of Kremnos, Crestum Kremnos and stuff like that, where there's like a lot of puzzles to go through before the final boss, they're moving them to like more optional areas that you can explore your free time, which I think is fine. I think that's fine. The removal enemies, I don't really agree with that. Like they should just make like condense like 4 enemies into like 1 or 2 stronger enemies, for example, right? But I think that's about it. I do think that obviously they've listened, although I think that removing the parts shouldn't be the solution. But hey, right? I'm just a casual player in a Hoyoverse game, so that's about that. So anyways, let me know how you guys feel about this patch in the comments below. Hopefully you know what, maybe there'll be a black whatever. I'll put me a black screen with white text joke, but you know what, hopefully in 3.1 we get less of that. All right. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. Also, you let me know if you like more of these videos where I summarize what's happened in the week, trying out something new. But yeah, definitely comment, like, share, subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and also do check me live on Twitch. Look at the description below, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, be good to yourselves and the people around you, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.